All right, buckle up, everybody. We are going deep today.
Deeper than usual.
I think so. We're diving into the lyrics of Crazy Train.
Ozzy Osbourne, classic. Crazy Train, what a song.
Yeah, and we're not talking about the music, though. We're looking at the words themselves.
Oh, interesting, like what they can tell us about the time it was written.
Yeah, like a little time capsule.
Yeah.
And maybe even how they connect with us now, all these years later.
I like it, a little cultural archaeology digging through the lyrics.
Exactly. So to kick things off, let's just jump right into those iconic opening lines. Crazy, but that's how it goes. Millions of people living as foes. It just sets the stage so perfectly, you know?
Yeah, it's stark. Gets your attention right away.
Totally. And it really reflects the world in 1980 when this song came out. Cold War, nuclear threat. It was a crazy time, right?
Absolutely. The world was a very different place. Very tense, anxious even. You know, when you think about those opening lines, that's the feeling they capture. This sense of constant conflict, like everyone's on edge.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, we think about the Cold War now, and
Yeah.
he feels kind of abstract, but back then,
It was real, very real. I mean, people were building bomb shelters in their backyards. Kids were doing duck and cover drills in school.
it's wild, right? Like, that was their reality.
It was. And it wasn't limited to just one side of the world either. This fear, this anxiety, it was global. Everywhere you looked, it was the U.S. versus the Soviet Union. Two superpowers locked in the standoff, and both had enough nukes to end the world many times over.
Crazy to think about. And, you know, what gets me is that right in the middle of all this darkness, right after those lines about people living as foes, there's this glimmer of hope. Maybe it's not too late to learn how to love and forget how to hate, like a plea, you know.
It is. It's a powerful message, and I think it still resonates with us today. Maybe not in the exact same context, but
But that desire for connection, that yearning for something better.
exactly. Because let's be honest, our world's pretty crazy right now, too, just in different ways. You've got political divides, social media echo chambers, people feeling more and more isolated.
You're so right. It's like everyone's on their own crazy train, just hurtling down the tracks.
And that's where that chorus comes in, right? I'm going off the rails on a crazy train. Such a powerful image. It's almost visceral, you know, like you can feel the momentum, that sense of things spiraling out of control.
Oh, 100%. I mean, you can interpret those lyrics on so many levels, right?
Absolutely. You could look at it from a global perspective, like we were just talking about. The world's going crazy and we're all just along for the ride. But then there's also that personal level, Ozzy's own struggles with addiction, mental health. It's all there in his music.
Oh, you're right. Like that feeling of being overwhelmed, of things just getting to be too much. That's something everyone can relate to at some point, right?
I think so. It's a universal experience, whether it's pressures at work, relationship problems, just the constant bombardment of information and expectations. We all feel that pressure sometimes.
And I think there's something about that pressure that just keeps building from one generation to the next, almost like we inherit these anxieties and fears.
Oh, that's interesting.
And it makes me think of that line, heirs of a Cold War, that's what we've become, inheriting troubles, I'm mentally numb. It's like he's saying, even though the Cold War is over, we're still carrying that weight.
Yeah, I see that. It's like that crazy train never really stopped, just maybe changed directions.
Picked up some new passengers along the way too, right?
Exactly. And I think maybe that's the real takeaway from Crazy Train, isn't it? It's not just a song about the Cold War. It's about recognizing those crazy trains in our own lives, whatever they might be.
Ooh, I like that. So it's a warning.
Maybe, but also a challenge. How do we stay on track when everything around us feels like it's going off the rails?
Find our own path, right? Through all the chaos.
Exactly. And I think that's why this song is so brilliant. It's heavy metal, it's catchy, but it also makes you think.
It does. It really does. Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap things up.
I think you're right.
But we're going to leave you with that challenge. What are the crazy trains you're riding? And how are you staying on those tracks?
Something to think about.
Thanks for joining us today for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.
See ya.